Hi, and welcome to College Planning Untangled, where we help families of college-bound kids just simplify their life when they're thinking about sending them off to college. I'm Kristin Clark. I'm a career exploration coach, and I'm here with Bobby Hood, our SAT ACT expert. Bobby, how's life treating you today?
Just great. Getting to the end of the year, students getting ready to graduate and taking their, ACT and SAT tests in June. So just gearing up for that.
Yeah, and if anybody needs help, if their kiddo is struggling, give Bobby a call. As you guys know, all of our information is scrolling across the screen, and we're happy to help wherever we can.
That's right.
Yeah. So today, what we're talking about is why is your teen freaking out? And
Right.
it's that time of year for both juniors in high school and seniors in high school, because now's the time for juniors that everybody's starting to talk about the seniors graduating and them going off to college, and your junior, if they don't have things figured out right now, they're getting worried.
Yep.
Right? If they can't see the vision of what's going to happen for them next year. So just know if they're cranky and snipping at you, that's what's happening. For your senior, that's a little bit bigger mixed bag of tricks, because they're freaking out because you know what? There's a lot of unknowns coming at them right now, and they're excited and they're afraid, and they're, all the emotions are going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just that time. It's transitional period. And I think a lot of it is if you don't really know what you're going to do, if you haven't been talking about, careers and things like that, like college can be really intimidating because it's just such a wide open window. Right.
Absolutely. Well, and Bobby, I know this is hard for us to remember, and it's hard for parents to remember. But thinking about number one, here's one thing we do remember. Do you remember that feeling of summer's coming? I'm like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Right.
And it's like the longest 2-3 weeks and the shortest 2 and 3 weeks that you ever go through. And there's all that excitement around that. So number one, that's happening, right? Where they're totally excited about, I'm done, yay. And they've got parties that they're planning and all the good stuff. Finishing tests. I mean, just a lot. There's a lot going on right now. Once they get past that stage, then there's that freight train coming at them that either all my buddies are going off to school and I'm not, or I'm going off to college and I've gotten really not a great idea of what it's truly going to look like.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk to parents about a lot is one of the ways that they can help level that out a little bit is getting their senior, their new graduate, to take some action right now. And there's a few different things they can do. They can talk to all of the people that went to school last year, went off to college last year, and just pick their brain and just say, okay, give me all the stuff. What was it like? What do you wish you would have done? What do you wish you wouldn't have done? And really just kind of getting a real world idea of what that experience is like. The second thing is helping them to get a visual of why they're going to college, meaning what career are they thinking about, so that they can have some clarity when they walk in the door that they're making good decisions, they're there for a purpose, and it's not just the next box they're checking to go off to college. So, those two things I think are helpful, and you might have some other thoughts.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, it's just in the summer after senior year, right? You can, you might work a job or something to make some spending money for school or whatever. But definitely when you run into, your friends who are a year older.
And I'm a huge proponent of work. As you know, Bobby, we've talked about that a lot here. And I will tell you too, another opportunity is if you have an idea of what career you want to do, you can actually get a job that actually gets you exposure to that kind of work.
Exactly.
So that you can go, I like this atmosphere, so there's those opportunities as well.
Yeah. And so I think that's part of the thing is going and, definitely like spending time working on figuring out what kind of major you want, and then going and talking to the people, because when you see your friends who are a year older or whatever, they're going to want to tell stories about how fun college is or whatever, but I bet they'd be happy to give advice and ask them about what their major is like, what classes are like. Is that, majors that you're considering? Is this something that I would like? Right. And ask them what it's really actually like to be in in those classes and things like that. And absolutely, once you start thinking about careers and ideas, that's when you can absolutely go and look for an internship or something, or volunteering to shadow someone or whatever, just to see something about what it's like, because it's just something to do beyond the vegetating all summer, right? You should do that too, but you should, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, is it's just, the freak out comes from the unknown, right?
Mhm.
And so whatever you can do to combat that. And I think that's especially, there could be a lot of parents listening who have just always sort of encouraged their kid to go into this one career or something like that. And it's a good time to let them try it out and talk to them honestly about, is that actually the thing that they want to do? Because you'd really much rather, you've been pushing your kid to be a pre-med forever. You don't want to find out a year in that that's not what they want to do, because then suddenly that's when college starts taking 6 years, right? When you switch
Oh, for
majors.
sure. And Bobby, you're bringing up a good point. Yeah, parents, I got to tell you, I am sorry, but this is one of those decisions that you just can't make for your kid.
Yeah.
They just can't.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I know that sometimes parents are like, come on, I know them really well. Yeah, you do, but you don't know what's going to make them happy.
Yeah.
However, we got a huge opportunity coming up, and this is for both juniors and seniors. They're going to be going to grad parties.
Yep.
This would be a great time for them to ask the parents at those grad parties and say, what do you do for work? Yep. What is that like? What are the activities that you do every week in your job? And guys, I would even tell you, Bobby, as a parent, you could start that conversation, because I bet you $10, and I'll put that on the table, and I'm not a better, that even though you've been neighbors with these people forever, you still don't really know what they do.
Right.
So it's a great conversation starter just to have even in front of your kids, to show them how to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, those people might have jobs, internship jobs, summer, right?
Absolutely. Right. That's why you get those conversations started. And I mean, this is the thing, is it's really all about starting that conversation and talking to your student about what they might be interested in doing, getting them start thinking about, okay, college, you need to start thinking about what careers are and stuff, because some kids may not have thought about it at all. And I know that you'll be working with students one-on-one, and you're also going to be doing classes, right?
Yeah.
So you can just have your kids just join up, right?
Yep, I put that in the comments. I've got classes starting up this summer. So I gave them a few weeks to kind of just relax and have fun and do their summer, get their summer going. But yeah, I do a class called Pick the Right Major, and it helps them figure out what career they want. And then we figure out the major after that. So it's a great class just for them to feel a lot more settled. And one thing that I'll tell you, Bobby, is, and you actually taught me this, one of the things that I ask my students every time we meet is, how confident do you feel right now that you can pick a career path and the right college major? And usually my clients start out in like a 3 to 4 range, and they're usually ending up in that 7 to 10 range. So,
that's great.
Yeah, just talking to them about how confident are you feeling about that. And that's a huge indicator that they're making progress and that they're ready to move on. So.
Absolutely. I think that's really important. And that's the whole thing, is just getting the conversation started. And even if, you might think that the career that you want, learning about your skills and what's going to be your strong points and things like that actually will help as well, figuring out, how to zero in on it. And also it'll help you out how to figure out how to succeed in college as well, because knowing your strengths will help when you're on group projects and things like that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, parents, you got some interesting times coming up, and I will not tell you, I've heard many a mom say that has gone through this process. That was God's plan. That your kids are cranky and ornery that whole summer before they head off to college, so that when you're pushing them out the door, you're like, thank God they're moving on. And then we're always happy to see them when they come back. So
exactly. All right. Good stuff.
Then I will, we'll see you guys next week. And Bobby, thanks. Talk soon.
Absolutely. All right. Bye-bye.